What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 256 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. In the show this week, looking back at an empire, Let's Rage, Claptrap Clapback, Sonic's marketing masterclass, Anthem's death bells, they are a ringing, plus and gold games, political games, for the force and honour, pretty shoes, and so much more. Lucas, play the music.
3, 2, 1, 0.
We recommend wearing headphones.
This is the Aussie Gamers
Experience.
News, reviews, and outlandish fun.
Experience it all.
That's right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for episode 256 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. Today is Monday, the 6th of May, 2019. I'm your host, Snoogs. And joining me for hosting duties, as always, is my brother, Grejio. How are you, mate?
Good, bro. Yourself?
I'm kicking along for a Monday evening.
Yeah.
I'm only drinking water and... Well, I didn't get myself a coffee this week. But,
This
yeah.
week? What?
Well, usually I have a coffee when we're doing this.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought, like, when you said that, I thought you meant, like, getting out a coffee this week. And I was like...
No, I've had like
what?
4 today.
Right, okay.
So
Say,
I
how's that
thought
possible?
I thought another one tonight. Well, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, probably. No, that's fine. That's... Yeah, okay. So, I'm good now.
You're good? You settled? You've calmed back?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hey, how is the Grejio household going, actually? I was a bit crook there for a while.
Yeah, we were in pretty bad shape this time last week. There's a couple of us that are still, just shaking off the last of it. But the little girl is crystal-eyed and happy. The oldest boy is happy and healthy. Middle child is just shaking off the last of it, and both Rem and I are shaking off the last of it as well. So hopefully this time next week we should be all good again. But you never know.
Mine's
See what happens.
hanging on for dear life. I've still got a bit of the croaky voice, and yeah. I walked into the office today, and one of the guys said, "Well, at least you don't sound like you're dying." Thanks for that, mate. That's appreciated.
Yeah, fuck you too.
That's what happens when you work around all these young'uns.
I know.
Shocking.
Getting more and more like that as you get older. More and more youngins.
Yeah,
seem to turn.
they just keep turning up.
No, it's true.
All right, mate. Well, what do you say we jump straight into it?
Do it.
All right. This week in gaming, I've got a bit of a doozy because this one keeps popping up with little bits and pieces, and I've always been intrigued, and I want to give it a go, but I don't have the time available to give it the go that it deserves. So back in 2003, so this game is still going today, EVE Online was released.
Oh, right. Yes. I am the same. I think it's one of those games where I've always been curious to play it, but if I started playing it,
that would be it.
That would be the end of my relationship with my family. They would pack up and move out, I'm pretty sure.
So, released in 2003, developed by CCP Games. A bit of an interesting fact, all the development team that worked on EVE Online had never developed anything before starting.
Wow.
Published, I picked the US publisher. There's a couple of different ones across Europe and the UK, but the US publisher was Simon & Schuster Interactive.
Ah, them.
Yeah, them.
Good old Simon & Schuster.
Yeah. It's part of the 1001 Games to Play Before You Die list. And to give anyone who doesn't know, EVE Online is an online RPG set in a futuristic galaxy. The main focus of the game is open-ended space travel, including combat, territorial control, trade, and politics. Now, that last one, trade and politics, is the one.
Politics is massive in that game.
It's huge.
It's actually, if you want, if you want to know what real politics is like, do not watch, Question Time
No.
in Canberra. You
jump
need
on
to
this.
watch this. Go jump on this. Diplomacy and politics in this game is insane and incredibly real and cutthroat. Like, it's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, one thing that I found, just the sheer scope of it is, part of the game is, as you can go around and you can do things without spending a cent.
Yep.
But it's got microtransactions and whatnot as well. So people put real money into this, and we're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. I believe in a podcast way back, there was some special release that you could purchase, which was like $30,000 for this DLC. There was a war. Let's call it what it was. It was a war.
They've had many wars, but yes, there are some epic ones.
This one in particular was not all that long ago, and it was because a certain outpost had a auto payment feature with in-game credits within the game that had failed. So that outpost was no longer part of the International Galactic or whatever it was. I don't have it in front of me, but because this protection, so to speak, dropped, another renegade group come in to try and overtake it. Yep. And the war raged on for, days of real lifetime. And by the end of it, it was something like $250,000 worth of in-game ships and, whatnot that was gone.
Yep.
It was massive.
Yep. and the thing is, that's not an uncommon occurrence in this game. Like, wars at that scale don't happen very often, but they do happen and have happened. That's the thing that is like amazing about this game is the sheer scope and the sheer gravity of. They literally have wars. It's not a play of. It's thousands and thousands of ships and players all smashing together, clans smashing together. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane. So, anyone listening along, if you play it, please touch base. Let us know what it's like. Let us know what you get out of it, because, like I said, it is something that I've really wanted to give a go, but I just don't have the time to put into it that I'd like to.
I just want to make a comment. You said it was one of the 1001 games to play before you die.
Yes.
It sounds like a list that someone created who has no impulse control. 1001 seems like a lot of games. Like, that just covers just about a lot of games. Like, just like, you couldn't have maybe narrowed it down.
You know what? I saw it come up, and I'm like, and it was part of the trivia on this game, and it was the only part of the trivia that was technically still relevant, and that this particular thing hadn't been updated in a while. And so that sort of come up, and I'm like, do I click on the one? No, I'll leave that alone. I'm not going to jump down that rabbit hole today.
Because it sounds like, 1001 seems like it covers a lot. So, to cover things like, Monster Jam Crush It. Or like, Hungry Shark World. While entertaining, then they're not games you should probably play before you die. You could probably die without playing them.
Yeah, you could probably just leave it alone.
Yeah. I think that's just, it just screams someone with that impulse control just going, I need to play that. Oh, you need to play
give
that.
this one a go. Oh, quick, jump on over here.
Yeah. The world's most optimistic person.
Yep. All right, mate, let's jump into some game talk. All right, last week you put out a call for someone to let you know a new game to try. And that game was
Graveyard Keeper.
And I believe it was Az that called you out, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, before the show had even ended, she was like, well, no one else is going to get in time, so bam, have at it. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted.
Awesome.
And I have to say, the first thing I have to say is Thank you, Az. This game has been amazing. I have enjoyed... I don't think I've played a game this hard in quite a long time. Like, I have absolutely gone to town with this game. And even Rem has picked it up, and she's playing quite a lot of it. So, for those of you that don't know, Graveyard Keeper is a cute little RPG. It's free on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a sort of angled top-down sort of Stardew Valley or, Harvest Moon, Monkey Island remaster kind of graphics and even gameplay to some extent with the other two, like Stardew Valley and stuff like that. Anyway, it's this RPG, and the story pretty much is you're this unnamed player. You're just a character. And you're walking home to get home to your loved one. It's not really clear who your loved one is. You assume it's like a girlfriend or a wife or something like that. And on your way home, you get hit by a car and you're killed, but you get transported to this other dimension, let's call it that. And you get told by this mysterious figure that you're now the graveyard keeper, and you keep asking, but I need to get home. I need to go back. And he says, tend to the graveyard and talk to Jerry. Jerry will help you get what you want. So you have to dig up Jerry, and you find out Jerry is a talking skull. Not only is he a talking skull, but he has amnesia, and he's quite the alcoholic.
All right. Alcoholic skull.
So,
yep.
Alcoholic skull in amnesia. So he's not very helpful in the beginning. But essentially what you do is you have to repair and look after a graveyard, which sounds immensely boring, but it's pretty good. Essentially, you clean it up, and you get it clean to a certain level where the bishop comes by and makes you the cleric of a church that the graveyard's attached to, which means you not only look after the graveyard, you also look after the church, and you also do sermons to get money and faith. And faith is another thing that you can spend upgrading stuff and all sorts of things. Anyway, as you go along, you pick up other things that you need to do. So you, as part of your duties of keeping the graveyard, you also have to bury all the new people. But before you bury them, you've got to take them to the morgue and do autopsies to prep the body. And the better you prep it, the better the score is for that grave, which then adds to the greater score of the graveyard kind of thing. So
this sounds a little bit morbid.
It is a little bit morbid to begin with.
Okay.
It's quite a charming little game, though, considering the morbid nature of it. And Ram and I have both laughed about, the amount of times that I've been down in the basement cutting up a body and then go, oh, it's sermon time, walk up, do a sermon, and walk back down and continue to cut up the body. So you do that, and you like, as you progress through your skill tree, you pick up new ways of dealing with the bodies. Like, you can remove certain body parts, you can embalm them, and stuff like that. And then you've got other things come along. So you have a workshop attached to your house, which allows you to create better gravestones and better adornments for the church. You also have like a garden that you can grow fruit and vegetables in and then sell fruit and vegetables through vendors. What else? You have an alchemy lab, which you can do all kinds of weird, wonderful alchemy things. You find you have to help a thief who finds a dungeon underneath the cellar of the church, which then has a bunch of occult sort of monsters and stuff like that you have to deal with, and you've got to help him summon an occult figure to help, so he can help you get stuff that you need to get home. But you end up helping the occult, you end up helping the Inquisition, you end up helping a whole bunch of people. Yeah, you can sell all the open air quotes meat, closed air quotes, that you collect through your dealings and sell it to the local tavern, so they can sell it onto the villagers. You have a snack stand at a witch burning site, which you can sell burgers and beers.
Mm-hmm.
What else can you do? Look, that's the nuts and bolts of it. It's, as an RPG, it's kind of my favorite kind of RPG. So I tend to find that some can be like skill tree happy, some can be loot happy. I don't particularly like loot happy ones where essentially I'm just replacing the same article for a just slightly more powerful item, and I just seem to be cycling through. It seems like the loot in this instance is quite minimal. It's like there's a couple of levels and then that's it. The real nuts and bolts is in the tree itself and picking up skills that allow you to do more in the game as you go through. And I really like it. It's simple and easy to play, but it's really in depth. It's really, really well thought out and really put together quite well. And it's why I've enjoyed playing it. Like, seriously, I have put in more hours into this game this week than I think I've put in the Forza in the last 2 or 3. It is ridiculous how much I can't stop playing it. It's like crack. It's my new, like I said to you before, it's my new Skyrim.
Your new Skyrim.
Really,
every time I've opened Discord, it's been saying you've been playing it, so it must be good.
I know, and like, hasn't helped that I've been off sick, so I've been at home, and you know, if I'm not looking after the kids, I'm playing the damn game kind of thing. It's just that. It really is that good. I cannot fault this game. It's a little bit slow in the beginning, but most RPGs are. But you know, once it picks up, I mean, it's super grindy. I'm going to be honest, it's super grindy, but you don't seem to care because everything seems to have a focus and a goal.
Awesome.
And the other thing, I'll try and wrap this up quick, is it sounds like you've got a lot going on, and you do. But it's one of those games where you can just ignore stuff and it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can just sort of go, yeah, I've got a garden to tend to, and yeah, I've got the graveyard to tend to. Oh, and I've got these guys that, you know, you can literally, if you want, you can have laser focus and just go, I'm just going to do this until I'm sick of it, and then move on to something else and just do that until I'm sick of it. You don't have to do everything at once. You can if you want, but you can just go, you know what, this is all getting too much. I just want to focus on this one thing, and everything will just sit and wait until you come back to it. So it's, like I said, it's really easy to manage. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Dungeon crawling is great. It's fun. It's got awesome. Everything you need.
So free at the moment on Game Pass. Make sure you give it a shot. I have downloaded it, but I haven't really used my Xbox for a little while.
Well, on top of that, it's available on Windows, obviously through the Xbox store, so you can play it. You can play it on your play, but it's also it's going to come out on Switch. If it hasn't already come out, that there was suggested that it was coming out in March this year, but last time I looked at it, it TBD. So I don't know whether it's been dragged out or not, but it might be available now on Switch. So if you have Switch and you're interested, check it out. It might be there or coming soon.
Would it be worthwhile to play with a keyboard and mouse?
Look, it won't hurt. Mm-hmm. I think it's very intuitive. Like, the controls are very intuitive for a controller. They're not a very complicated control system. But
I'll download it on PC and give it a crack.
Yeah. Look, it won't be. It'll be a little bit easier, I think, but it won't be. It's
won't
not
be
like
making much difference
now.
Oh,
no,
cool.
It's not like Prison Architect out there where that just felt clunky.
Yeah, that needed.
This feels smooth. It's easy to do. Yeah. Everything's easy. So
awesome. Well, talking about Game Pass, I have played one game off it this week. Mm-hmm. And Lucas and I the other night just jumped on and played Sea of Thieves. So check over on our website, which is www.theagexp.com, and you'll see some update in regards to the Sea of Thieves anniversary update. It's got some cool little things to it. So you've got, a PvP arena. You've got another sort of section called Tall Tales, which Lucas and I couldn't actually sort of find out how to get them going, but we found another new feature to just be a little bit more fun, and that was the fishing.
Of course.
Seriously, I don't know how much time we ended up doing it, but we were just fishing. Well, I should say Luke was fishing, I was trolling. You've got harpoons now, so
Yeah.
say someone else is, some other team's running along the beach with a chest. You can shoot the harpoon and take the chest straight out of their hands. If your player falls overboard, you can shoot the harpoon at them and they bring them straight back in. So, of course, I thought, maybe it'll work on fish. So, Lucas is fighting these fish and trying to get them on board, and I'm just shooting the harpoon at them. Public service announcement, no, it doesn't work. You cannot cut the fishing line with your sword in the water. You can't do. There was one point where Luke's walking around the boat trying to fish and whatnot. Then he goes, "Hold on a second, are we moving?" Like, yeah, because I just pulled up the anchor and took off. He's wondering why he can't catch any fish. And yeah, so we just tooled around, had a bit of a play. There's Sea of Thieves has turned into sort of, well, for me anyway, it's turned into a game where you've really all got to jump on it together.
Yep.
And have a full team and have a direction that you want to go. You can't just get on and tool around for an hour because it just gets boring very quickly. Yep. Like I said, we played with the fishing. We started to go and do a treasure, like hunting for treasure, but that just got frustrating.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. But for a full list of the updates, make sure you check over onto our website. Cool. Before I jump on to the next thing, g'day Kazza. How are you, mate? Welcome to the live chat. Thanks for dropping in. Other things for me, Division 2. Of course, I'm still playing that, having a grind. Lots and lots of loot. My backpack is full, like my personal inventory is full, my loot inventory is full, and now I'm just playing with my build. So it's just constantly swapping things around. I think I've got it to a point where I'm pretty good. I've got a reasonable, for everything up to the hard level, I can take down easily and I can stand toe to toe with. Challenging level, I can take down reasonably well, but anything with fire or explosives, I get laced big time. So there's still more work to be done, but I don't know where. That's the problem. That's the bit that's upsetting, like that's frustrating me at the moment. Is there's no, like in the original there was something very specific, burning resistance, and you could make a certain build to have that resistance as a big part of your build, and you don't really have that now. But yeah, I'll get there. Ghost Recon's got a new update.
Oh, really?
Might
have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I don't have the details in front of me for what it was. It was just a last minute thing I remember jumping back on. So that's got a new update. It's like I think it's Season 2. The actual DLC for Season 2.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that's all there. I had a bit of a download of that and a play. I actually won a code on PC and got to give it a crack, which was really cool. Last one for me, a game called Burning Daylight. Now, Burning Daylight's another one of these weird and wonderful games that pop up, courtesy of something that I looked at on Steam a little while ago. And this one comes up and it's got... And the reason I say it's one of those ones that pops up that's weird, wonderful, because it has in its tags that it has sexual content, something along those lines. And the sexual content is pretty much you wake up and you're naked. You're a naked dude running through this factory. And it's got a very sort of inside vibe to it.
Oh, yeah.
So that sort of dark, very contrasting sort of background, kind of the 2.5D setup. And it's only about 45 minutes long. Lucas has finished it. He was telling me about it. I haven't finished it yet. I've only played probably 20, 25 minutes. So not all that far off finishing it, but about halfway through. So it's just a nice little side-scrolling thing. It's actually free to play on Steam. So It's got sort of an intriguing thing. You wake up, to give you a bit of an idea why it grabbed me. So you know I like that dark and twisted side of things, right? You wake up, you're in like the basement of a factory, and there is dead bodies around you everywhere. And as you walk through the factory, you realise these bodies are actually being processed, kind of like Matrix style, in like they're being minced up and crushed. And
I was going to say the mint's getting sold to the local pub because I've been playing that all week.
Yeah. And they go up and you sort of go along and up through the levels, and you come out up onto the street level where there's other people you can interact with. You collect coins and do something with them to like build money up to go through the next section, and so on and so on. And the story sort of unfolds as you go along. So it's pretty cool. And if it's free to play, give it a crack on Steam, and let us know what you think.
Very good.
That's it for me, mate. Actually, I do have one more, and one I think it'd be more up Rem's alley than yours. But Harry Potter, I think it's called Wizards Unite.
Yeah.
So it's like Pokemon Go, but with Harry Potter.
Right.
So it uses all the same things.
Let her know.
Sorry?
I will let her know.
Yes, I dare say she would enjoy it. My kids love it. I've just introduced my kids to Harry Potter over the last couple of months, and they find it hysterical. So I showed them in the backyard, for instance, the other day, and Hagrid was standing next to the swing set. and we had to help do a spell where you've actually got to flick on the screen. You've got to follow like just a shape, and that sort of flicks the wand a certain way, and then it does a spell, and it helped Hagrid get back to where he needed to go.
There you go.
Yeah. That's out there. It's on Android and iOS, so it's a lot of fun, and especially potheads will rather enjoy it.
Sure they will. Like I said, I'll let Rem know. Not that she classifies herself as a pothead, but
yeah,
she likes Harry Potter.
She likes Harry Potter. She's told us before. All right, mate. Well, let's jump into some news, unless you've got another game's popped into your head.
Nah. Literally, Grejio Keeper was all-consuming this week.
Nice. All right, mate. Well, on to the news then. Rage 2.
Rage 2.
You're looking forward to this, aren't you?
I am.
You are?
But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, Rage 2, the marketing for Rage 2 has gone absolutely ballistic.
Yes.
So over the last week, everyone that's been on the Facebook page, the Twitter accounts, here, there and everywhere, you would have seen, especially myself, has been bantering on about Rage 2 and the No Rage Grets campaign. For Bethesda has teamed up with a studio to go and get tattoos done. And unfortunately, by the time everyone's listening to this, it's been and done. It was finished yesterday. I may or may not have a new tattoo.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
All right.
My wife's not real happy about it. Let's just say that.
So, in other words, you do, because it's not like she'd be unhappy about you not getting one.
No. Well, she would prefer. She would strongly prefer that I didn't.
All right, so you haven't got it yet. but you
No.
might.
So well, for those listening, it's on Saturday, which is the day before this comes out. So on the Friday, Bethesda are doing a thing with a few different streamers where people watching the stream people are getting tattooed on stream, and you can actually pick which tattoo these streamers are getting from like a flashcard thing.
Right.
And I'd be up for that.
Yeah,
But I'm very.
I'd be good with it as long as I get to choose. If someone else is choosing for me, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a has regrets kind of guy. So, and like Zed, like on top of that, I'm really have a strong aversion to the color pink. So
Yeah.
that's the other problem.
Pink.
Like there was some
skin
cool.
doesn't last real long, but
No, there was some cool tats on that that card though.
I really liked them. To be perfectly honest with you, for me personally, and I've got a few tattoos. Each one of my tattoos though is I designed. I drew myself. So the fact that they're just a generic style of tattoo, that kind of throws a spanner in the works for me. But there is still pretty cool ones. Like personally, I like the cherry bombs. I could get that on an arse cheek.
Yes, they're very American classic. Style. Yeah,
but it's a very cool thing. But
nonetheless.
the big thing with Rage 2 is that it's gone gold now. So it's officially gone gold. We're getting it. It's on its way.
Yeah, it's not far now.
Not far to go. Would you like to know about some of the requirements for it, though?
It'll run on my Xbox.
It will run on your Xbox. It'll only run at 930 on your Xbox.
Yeah.
So on the original Xbox One and the One S, it's a 900p and 30 frames a second. On the original PS4, it's 1080 and 30. On the Pro and the X versions, they get 1080 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's not a huge difference really. But the PC recommendations.
Yeah.
I've got a half
Crank it
decent
up to
PC.
11.
Yeah. My PC is not too bad. Well, I didn't think it was too bad until I tried to run Ghosts on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a step above again. So recommended is a 64-bit processor. Your OS, everyone's got your Windows settings. Processor is an Intel Core i7 or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600, which is what I've got. So it should run. But my problem's the GPU. Memory, 8 gig of RAM, NVIDIA GTX 1070 or an AMD Vega 56 8GB, and of course 50 gig of storage space. So it's pretty thirsty.
From what we've seen of gameplay footage and stuff like that, is pretty
It's
full on.
Very explosion-y.
Yeah, it's very Michael Bay-esque.
Yes. So if I do be playing it, a good speaking, Pat.
I do be playing it.
Yeah. If I'll be playing it, I'll be playing it on the Pro.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah, I won't even try and go for the PC. It'll technically be playing through my PC because at the moment I stream from the Pro out in the lounge room.
Yep.
GPU is an NVIDIA GTX 1070 8 gig or an AMD Vega 56 8GB. For those at home, I'm just letting Kaz know again. And he seems to be typing.
I think he's asking about yours, isn't he?
Oh, 1070 should be able to run it. Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. It's a GTX 1070. I've got a 1050. The 1050 Ti. So mine doesn't quite... It goes... So,
Glad we got that sorted.
yeah, but on PC too, it's got uncapped frame rate. So if you've got the full on vibe and the beastie PC, it should get you kicking. Is that the one fan?
Yeah, if you got the full vibe, definitely.
Yeah, is that the one fan? I don't know. It's in the computer. There's a screen. Kaz asking me these weird things. It's in the computer, Kaz, and the glass side of it is facing the wall, so I don't know. I never looked in it. I have, but it doesn't. Shush. Yep. All right.
Moving on.
Greg, do you want to fill us in with Anthem? You spoke about last week about the player base really dying off.
Yep. So last week I told you that I gave you a whole bunch of news and I mentioned that there was a thing floating around about how the player base had dropped down to 50% from its initial kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said that I wasn't sure where that figure came from and that I'd do some digging. Well, I did some digging, and apparently this is based on a survey that was done by a Redditor who surveyed 1,000 people still playing the game. And based on the answers of that 1,000 people, he drew the conclusion that 50% of people that had answered the survey had pretty much written Anthem off, saying that they were leaving the game, they weren't coming back, that it had done its dash. So that's where that came from. It's not a true representation of what is actually going on within the game itself, but a capture of people who answered the survey. That's how surveys work, but how usually if you want a good survey, you tend to try and fish in a couple of different pools, whereas I'm sure this person, as much as they tried to, I'm not smashing this dude at all, he was just doing it for his own interest, I'm sure. There's a good chance he was fishing in possibly one or two ponds and only got a certain type of people who might be answering that. So, but yeah, look, I said I'd find out where it came from, and that's where it came from. So,
all right.
You had something on it.
Yeah. With it kind of paints the same picture that you talked of. So, this is something that's floating around at the moment, and players that are classified as your hardcore players, ones that have been there from the beginning and stood and praised it, and have been to this point enjoying it, have now declared the game dead. Now, the reason for that, claiming that it's dead, is because the original roadmap that was released at release of the game, which showed your first season content, drop details of the strongholds, and all that sort of jazz, well, that's technically been scrapped.
Yep. And
there's been no replacement put in place for it.
Yep.
Now, not only has it been scrapped, but there's this extended period that keeps getting pushed back. And I think we spoke about it last week as well, that
we did.
The Division 2 first drop and first bit of DLC and their raids was supposed to be on the 25th of April. It was due to be released. Now it's released mid this month. So it could get pushed back, but it got pushed back with a date. Yep. Whereas Anthem's details just got, we're not doing it yet.
Yeah, that's right.
But no when. And
I did highlight that last week. That's an issue, like not giving your people a date afterwards. And I know they said that they didn't. They've learnt the lesson that they talk about things too early. But like I said, you can't then just say nothing.
Yeah,
you have to give people an idea of what the. Otherwise, people. It's just how long's a piece of string? Are we in a holding pattern for a week or a month or a year? Or
well, the big thing that took this latest sort of spit with the fans calling it, that's it. It's actually come through via the subreddit. So the subreddit's learned that the main BioWare team has now moved on to different projects. So it's now the support team is the only ones that are sticking around for the game. And generally the support team is that, they work with the content they've been given and just tweak.
Yep.
So, how far down the track is that content now. Which is a shame because, like I've said many times, for the game itself, my interests were always firmly pointed at the Division 2, but the game as just a game is not, like, to me, not a game of service sort of thing. It was okay, but it's just a shame that it's gone this way, and it doesn't seem to be getting that backing that it really deserves.
Yep.
Or the clarity, I suppose you could put it down as. But
yeah, it's a shame. It really is. This game should have been amazing, and
it is a shame.
I have a funny feeling it's going to become a benchmark, but a benchmark of how not to do shit.
What not to do.
Yeah.
All right, mate. One new game to another. Borderlands 3 is also on its way. But apart from the, complete and utter batshit crazy that people are going for this game, and the amount of people singing its praise after trialing it this recent weekend, there's been a little bit of controversy. So, controversy from the way of David Eddings. Now, David Eddings was the original voice for Claptrap. So that was pretty good. He's put out a tweet. Someone was asking him if he was going to voice Claptrap, and he's come back and said, no, for the first time, and this is directly from his tweet, no, for the first time, I insisted on getting paid for my performance, and all of a sudden they couldn't afford me. Now, I'm not telling them how to run their business, but maybe next time they should put the $12 million payment from 2K in the Gearbox bank account instead. Just saying. That's a little bit nasty. That's a bit of a dig. It's a shame that he's not doing the voice again. Claptrap was always pretty iconic. I do believe it's now gone over to Jim Foronda.
Sorry, I said Nolan North.
He does a bit of everything, yeah. Jim Foronda has previously voiced Mighty Mask in the Dragon Ball Z Kai anime series. It's a little bit nasty. There's a few other things going on with, the Borderlands CEO has called the original Claptrap actor bitter and disgruntled. So I think there's a few things there. Eddings was let go, and there's not a happy relationship there. But aside from all that, the game's actually looking pretty cool. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my style, I suppose. I'll probably give it a crack.
I like the visual style of it. It's just different, and I like things that are different. Not necessarily for the sake of it being different, but when they're different and they kind of work, I enjoy that. Cell shading it's nothing new in games. It is still, it's a unique kind of look, and I think it pulls off for what it's trying to do. Now, I've played the other two, and I agree. For whatever reason, there's something about this that doesn't stick with me. But I'll still give this one a go, like I gave the other two a go. I have some friends that are massive Borderlands, freaks, and they'll be like, "Greg, come play." So I'm sure that it won't be long before I start getting Discord messages or messages over Xbox Live saying, "Hey man, BL3 ? So yeah. So look, they've been hassling me for ages to get the Handsome collection so I can go play all the other ones with them, but I can't just even the discounted price. I can't justify spending it on a game that I don't honestly enjoy playing. Like, I like playing with them, but outside of that, I'm not going to play the game. So,
fair enough. All right, mate. Can you honour the Force for me?
Can I honour the Force?
Honour the Force.
Which do you want me to? Oh, right. Sorry, I see what you did there. That's very clever. ha ha ha, I see what you did there. I was like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden it clicked on me.
And then it
so
clicks.
For Honor, okay, at the moment,
Yep.
just in time for May the 4th, which has just been and gone. Happy Star Wars Day to all those belated Star Wars Day to those that honor it. They brought out an update, and part of the update allows you to have lightsabers now as a sword or axe or whatever it is that you use in For Honor. So you can get a laser axe or a sword. Now, a little bit of a caveat here before you go rushing off and wanting to play, Luke Skywalker in For Honor.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a licensed thing. This is not a Star Wars thing.
No, they've just changed the swords for now.
So the swords just have a glow to them, a coloured glow to make them sort of look like a lightsaber. And when they move, they make a, let's call it a lightsaber-esque sound. think like GoBots or...
Think back to your childhood when you made the sound of the lightsaber in your bedroom.
Yeah, like it's like GoBots or what's the Lego knockoff?
Mega
bricks.
Blocks, no?
Mega Blocks.
Or bricks.
Yeah, this is like
yeah.
this is like the Mega Blocks of lightsabers. Let's call it that. So yeah, there's no information. There's nothing from the team to say how long this is going to last for.
Yeah, I couldn't find any of that.
There's nothing out there. It's popped up. It popped up in time for this.
Yeah,
so
a few people over on the website, on the Facebook page, confirmed that it is indeed live, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I think it was actually part of PS Plus not that long ago.
Yeah, it should have been because it's been on Games of Gold as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only reason I've got it is I got it at Games and Golf. So I just haven't played it yet. I've been meaning to pick it up and sit down and play the story part because I was just curious in that.
There's a story part.
Yeah, there is a story mode in it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've been meaning to play that because I played the beta and I played the hell out of the beta. I loved the beta. I just knew that, and I remember, I think I was just started with you guys when it came out or something, and I said it was like one of the first shows I was in. I was like, this is not a game for tourists. You're either in and playing every day for hours on end, getting better and better and better, and being like the top echelon PvP player, or you're just going to get murdered and be okay with that.
Yeah, you're just going to cry.
So yeah. So that's why I never got into it. As much as I loved it, I just couldn't. I knew I couldn't invest the time in it. But I like I said, I do want to sit down and play the story one day. One day I'll sit down and play it.
Yeah. Well, Kaz is saying that it might be free to play at the moment as well, so check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mate, I'm going to jump across to a bit of our childhood here. Awesome. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, not so awesome.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, the trailer for the live action movie has been released. Now, a lot of people were waiting for this. If you haven't seen it yet, it is on our Facebook page, and it's everywhere because everybody's talking about it, but no one's really talking about it in a good way. And that all has to do with Sonic. Yeah. Sonic, the creepy human teeth. The one thing that I said, the only thing I really saw wrong with it was at one part, Sonic's on a highway and he's loosening up, right, to just let you see people before they're about to sprint. And he looks like a cosplayer. He looks like someone in a Sonic suit with an oversized head on. Just the way that the body's proportioned. And it just doesn't look right. And that's the only bit of the trailer that I sort of looked at and went, yes, that's not right. But everyone in the internet has blown up and absolutely flamed it. Now, this is, of course, gotten a reaction at the studio itself, and Jeff Fowler has come out and said, "Thank you for the support and the criticism. The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be." Now, I've got two questions for you, mate. Mm-hmm. First question: Did you have an issue with it, or did you have a dislike? Let's call it. It's not really an issue. It's more of a I don't like.
Look, I guess I'm with you. The teeth threw kind of a non-thing to me. Like, what else were people kind of expecting? Like,
yeah,
they literally want hedgehog teeth in there. Like
well, yeah, because they reckon it looked like a human mouth, a human teeth behind a furry mouth.
Yeah. Anyway, to me, the proportions of Sonic are kind of off. Like, he's not. Like, I don't know why everything now has to be like a photorealistic version, like of itself. Like, why can't we? Why can't he just be what we envision, what we know Sonic to look like as that? And like, he doesn't have to have fur. Like, yeah, I get he's a hedgehog, but let's just deal with the fact that he looks like this and move on, you know. But look, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and
yeah,
that's where I'm at with it. So
I have a theory though.
Mm-hmm.
That this is all a marketing ploy.
Really?
And I'd have to say that I think I'm pretty bang on. Now, if you look at the other big thing being a Nintendo IP that is releasing very shortly, being Detective Pikachu, and you know they've got Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. Sonic has Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. There's been quite a few memes going around about him and how he's got back problems now for trying to carry the movie. But Detective Pikachu is opened in Japan already, and it's getting rave reviews. Yep. Everyone's loving it. It's cute. It's funny. You know, all the Pokemon are apparently adorable. I'm not a Pokemon fan, so it doesn't do much for me. I'll probably go and see it just because it's apparently funny. But, you know, I'm not itching to see it. It doesn't do that for me. This has come out at a time when everyone's focused on Pikachu. But now Sonic's come out, it's caused this massive uproar to the point where, you know, kill Sonic or, you know, let Sonic die or something was trending on Twitter. You know, Sonic the movie was on there, was always up there with thousands upon thousands of tweets every day. It's just this massive thing that everyone's talking about now. And now they've come back and said that we're going to go and change it. I don't think they never... I reckon this is what we saw was the change that they put in place to go, hey, we'll use this to rev everyone up.
Possibly.
I think it'd be a decent marketing ploy.
Hey, look, you know, it's not a crazy idea. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened only a couple of months back with Aladdin and the whole Will Smith genie thing.
Yeah, because he wasn't blue.
I think they did I think Disney did the same thing. Like, so anyway,
yeah. So there you go. Is it a marketing ploy? Listen along. Anyone listening along, let us know your thoughts. We'll soon find out anyway, I guess. Mate, GT Sport.
GT Sport.
I haven't played this in so long.
Neither have I.
Considering that I've got a headset and a steering wheel and everything for it.
Yeah, now I'm really starting to get pissed at you. You should be playing it more.
Yeah.
I'd be playing it more if I had that stuff.
Yeah.
You're a dick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, look, it's getting 5 new cars, and it's getting some scapes that are based around New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand.
So, some Kiwi stuff's getting in it. So, That's a bad Kiwi accent. But anyway.
That's terrible, yeah. At least the skates will
Anyway.
be a lot better.
Hopefully the skates are a lot better than that. So, yeah, so that's GT Sport.
All right, mate. Well, another one from me. PS Plus and Games with Gold for May have been released. Not overly exciting this month on either side. Though possibility with Games with Gold, we've already set up. I think you were involved in it as well, of having a bit of a go of the golf club when it comes out.
The golf club.
Yes, so the Golf Club 2019 is being released. It's the second half of the month.
All right.
Yeah, so that's something that's everyone can get together and have a bit of fun with. Another game called the Marooners, which looks like a bit of a party game. For the 360, you've got Earth Defense Force and Comic Jumper. I don't really know any of them. On the PS Plus side, you've got Overcooked and What Becomes of Edith Finch.
Ah, yes.
Overcooked is good fun. What Becomes of Edith Finch is a good game as well, but I've got both of them and I've played both of them, so they don't. It's like okay, done, cool. It's nothing to rave about this month, I don't think.
No.
Oh well. So there they are. They'll be released. I think Marooners and Earth Defense is already available on the Xbox, and the PS Plus ones will be should be out by the time this goes live. So they should be this week sometime going up. Mate, shoes, pretty shoes.
Shoes, pretty shoes. Look, I'm just going to put it out there. The amount of times that we've talked about shoes on this podcast, I'm starting to think that maybe secretly
We've got a fetish.
shoe podcast. We do. We have a shoe fetish.
I went shoe shopping on the weekend.
Oh, really?
What'd
you get?
Pair of runners and some shoes for work, which are kind of, they're not my usual style. So we'll see how they go.
Are they pointy toes?
No, they're not pointy toes, but they're like a boot with a heel.
Ooh. Boot with heel.
They're very Newtownish.
Yeah, no, that's very sort of 70s, 80s of you.
Yeah. And
70s, it's quite a 70s thing.
Yeah, it's
the whole boot with a heel.
that soft leather sort of top.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the wooden
Starting to get a bit
wooden heel sort
funky.
of thing. Yeah, bit of funkiness.
Yeah. What were your runners?
I don't know, red ones.
Red ones.
Nothing
Okay,
exciting. It was Rivers. Like I've got a size 13 foot, so I'm kind of limited with what I can buy.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well let's get on.
So I won't be able to get any of these pretty shoes because I doubt they'd make them that big.
No, you probably can't afford one. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's two. Let's start off with the Chun-Li shoes. So Chun-Li, Onitsuka is an apparel company in Japan, and they've made a shoe, two different types, based around Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm.
They come with like Street Fighter and Capcom logos on them, and the Chun-Li dragons down the side of them. And there's two different types, but they're all sort of a blue, yellow, white sort of combination of colors. Sort of a running shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they're going to be limited to 5,000 pairs worldwide, and they'll be about $232 Australian to get. But they also come with a download code for the latest Street Fighter, where you can punch it in and it will deck out Chun-Li in all Onitsuka apparel, including the shoes. So you can
that's
wear the same
cool.
shoes. You can wear the same shoes as Chun-Li in the game. So there's that. The second pair of shoes were actually there's only one pair. You can't have them because they belong to director Jordan Vogt Roberts, who is the director of Detective Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the premiere this week, he wore a particularly unique pair of Air Jordans. And they were custom made one-offs, Pikachu-themed Air Jordans. And they're
Air Jordans.
Pikachu Air Jordans. So they're like an Air Jordan, and then they've got a big Pikachu tail on the side of them.
Okay.
And they're very yellow with bits of brown and white on them. Obviously, there's like all this cell shaded animation, graphics all over it. They're ghastly. Like, you cannot wear them with anything, but at the same time, they're kind of cool.
It's one of those ones.
Like, it's like you couldn't, like, you could wear them and you'd be cool, but you're not pulling them off. So, people just like, those are awesome shoes, but whatever, unless you're wearing like a big new onesie,
you look like a goose.
There's absolutely there's nothing you can wear with. So look, I'm sure Lucas will put a picture up on the intro maybe, or look, we'll put a link in the description below, or I might even find him and put him in the Discord channel.
Yeah, we'll put him in Discord and chuck him up on the website.
Yeah. So, but they're interesting looking shoes. So.
Awesome, mate. Well, you want to, before I jump into my last bit, let us know about Epic's new acquisition.
Alrighty. So, Epic seems to be on a spending spree at the moment.
Well, they've got the coin to do it.
They've got ducats to kill and spend, and they're just making it rain. So, they've acquired Psionic, who are the guys that made Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can imagine, due to Epic's penchant for exclusivity deals, considering they now own Rocket League, I think that's the way Rocket League is going. So they've said that Rocket League will be on sale on Steam until late 2019. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it will continue to be supported but no longer sold on Steam.
Okay.
How long it stays on Steam after that is anyone's guess. But, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, though. If they've acquired it, then, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And look, Psionic seem really happy with the deal. They're talking about the fact that the partnership, they're going to really be able to leverage the partnership. And essentially, they're saying that this is their opportunity to uniquely, I find it a very unique statement, an ironic statement, is they said this is going to help us bring Rocket League to more people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, except you've essentially created an exclusivity deal where you're now stopping a bunch of people from playing.
Yeah.
But look, obviously it's not going to affect any of the other ways you can play it, either Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch, or wherever else it is.
I'd be interested to see the actual facts about how many people still play it, because, I got it with PS Plus, and I played the crap out of it when it first came out, but I haven't picked it up in so long, and because I haven't picked it up in so long, I'm absolutely terrible at it now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what I good to start with, but...
Yeah, look, I play it every now and again, because my oldest son loves playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a car game, so he's a bit like me. He's car nuts.
It's the same. Well, the same with my two girls. I've got it on the PlayStation, and it's with the Dead Mouse hat sort of thing on it. So they refer to it as the Mickey Mouse game.
Yeah,
and that's what they want to play. So yeah,
if my son sees that there's a Fast and Furious expansion where he can turn his car into the ice charger, that'll be the end of it. He won't let me get away with not buying it. You'd be like, Dad, ice charger. Got to have the ice charger. Dad's the ice charger. It's like the car I've got in the toy box. It's the ice charger, Dad, the ice charger. That's going to be what it's like. So just keep having to hide that.
Uncle Pat to the rescue. I'll come around and show him.
Yeah. So you can play that game, remember that?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to be good. I'll leave it alone then. Alrighty, mate. My last bit of news. I thought with this bit of news, I could have a bit of a chat too about it, because even though we chat with all of them, but I could quite easily get exceptionally rolled up at this. The news itself, the reason I get rolled up is because it's essentially it's essentially confirming that Australia is the nanny state. Now, we've all said and we've covered it here many times, and I'll admit I've been the most vocal about it, that, you know, the restrictions and everything that's put on gaming in Australia, it's just going above and beyond what everywhere in the world. You know, something that's PG in other parts of the world has been rated R here, and then we've had to change shit in it to get it rated R. Now, this is some information that's come out via the Daily Telegraph. It's in regards to our upcoming federal election. So the federal election has announced plans to introduce online safety. So this is that's the federal government, so the guys that are in at the moment, which is Liberals, I believe. Yeah, so if they re-win, they're talking about Online Safety Act. Now, the good part of the Online Safety Act is they're bringing in maximum penalties for online trolls. It's ramping up the criminal code to menace, harass, cause offence. Also goes into social media, SMS, phone calls, blah, 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 blah. So it all brings that transparency in. So if you're an online troll and you're bullying somebody online, you're going to face a tougher penalty, which I am all for. I'm 100%.
Kaz is going to be in prison by the end of the year.
Yeah. I don't think it's classified as a troll if we're laughing at it, though, so it's all right. The bit about it that I don't like, so Scott Morrison, the current Prime Minister, he's proposed that most games itself, you know, they've sort of been pulled into the debate within social media giants. So, because obviously, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that sort of thing, there's a lot of trolling going on there. We know about it. And in gaming, if you're putting yourself out there and you're talking to people that you don't know, there's a very big chance of being bullied as well on gaming. But what they've said and what they've talked about is that they're making popular video games such as, let's throw in there, Fortnite, because that's the big thing at the moment. A lot of kids are playing that. Mm-hmm. They're being made to lock down security settings within the game so that literally it's on the highest setting. So, for instance, if you're playing Fortnite, when you download Fortnite in Australia, you will not be able to talk to anyone. You will not be able to get into a lobby, and so you'd only be able to play single player. And they're making the companies do this game side. Now, Xbox is better in this area than PlayStation in regards to online safety, because Xbox, I believe, has always been, you know, aimed towards the younger audience. And the Xbox has... PlayStation has it as well, but the Xbox has much better features when it comes to your privacy settings and whatnot. And, you know, time frames, all that sort of shit. This is all on the Xbox already. All you have to do is educate people either via online things, someone like us, where we know this. And I've had many people being friends of friends who have asked me my input. You know, people that I work with have asked me, you know, my kid wants this game, what do you think? You know, and I give them my opinion and tell them what is in that game and what it means. Yes, it's rated PG, but it's rated for this, and this. Yeah, it's M-rated, but it's M-rated because he swears a little bit, you know, no more different than you and I swear around the office or whatever. You know, things like that. They're now saying to just, you know, cotton ball everyone again. Instead of making people accountable for their own decisions, they're making the companies accountable for it. Whereas I think, you know, people should be educated. People shouldn't be using these items as a babysitter. They shouldn't be letting their kids rule the roost in regards to it. You and I both have young children. Mm-hmm. We both let our young children play. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure neither of us let them play for 8 hours a day.
No. And as it is, Thomas, my oldest, he has his own profile on Xbox Live.
Yep.
However, it's heavily locked down. He can't talk to anyone.
Yep.
Unless they're his friends, and he can't make new friends. It would essentially be us unlocking it and adding someone to his friend list and then locking it again for him to get extra. So essentially, the only two people that he has on his friends list are me and Rem.
Yep.
Soon we're gonna add you because there's a game that we think you should play with him, but we can discuss that later.
Yep. That works for me.
And that's what it should be. That's how you should be. And like I said, it's very structured. He has to earn his time on there.
Exactly.
He's got to use it. He gets to choose how much time he wants to use in one hit. But once he set the timer on the phone, once the timer goes off, he knows that's it. And the other day, he astounded me. The timer hadn't even gone off, and I wasn't even talking to him. I think I was talking to Rem, and I said the words, "That's it," or something along those lines. And he thought I was talking to him, and he turned it off, put the control down, walked over and said, "Done." I'm like, "No, not you." But I was like, you know what? You had 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter anyway. But you know, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I admit we're educated in it because we play as well.
Yeah,
and we
exactly.
understand the ins and outs and what it does. But in this day and age, there's plenty of ways to get that information. I just don't understand why we keep, cotton balling people. It's just, you should be educating these people, getting them to ask the questions. Everyone's on social media. There's nothing like doing a campaign, and someone like Sony or Microsoft or Xbox, that's something they jump for. I've seen many ads about Xbox and the privacy settings that they've got on that, but it's just I don't like the fact that they're putting this back, because once again it's going to be, oh look, in Australia you can't even you've just downloaded Fortnite, a free to play game. Now you've got to spend 20 minutes confirming that you're over 18 before you can unlock anything. I just think it's going a little bit too far.
Yep.
The bullying side of it, I get 100%. I'll sign up for anything that stops people bullying and makes those people that do bully accountable for it.
Yep.
It's something I don't believe in.
Yeah, look, especially things like it was just this week. Xbox updated its standards. So Xbox has its own list of standards for what they believe is proper gameplay and use of their service. And look, this month, I read it. I was reading it before we jumped on the podcast. It is so wholesome. It's almost funny.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So look, I was reading, and it. So every subcategory, there's a whole bunch of subcategories under the standards, which talk about individual things like everything from trolling to harassment to even how you use it as a means of boosting your own social profile and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of, and they give you, for everything, they give you examples of things you probably shouldn't do versus things you probably should do. I've read the harassment one and I couldn't help but laugh. It is that wholesome and sweet. It's funny, but it's quite genuine, and it's a shame that they have to go to this level.
They shouldn't have to do it, but
they shouldn't have to. But common sense rarely prevails, so they do, and it's it's things like I read it and there was they're saying, they're talking about competitiveness and, they're talking about the difference between trash talk versus harassment. And they give you a list of things that they consider trash talk, and then they modify them slightly and say, this is where you can step over the line. So it's get insert profanity here.
Yeah, fair enough.
That game was insert profanity here, or I'd expect that from insert racial slur here. It's hilarious to read because you know exactly what word is supposed to be there right at that point in time.
Yeah,
it's just
words we've all heard. Yeah,
exactly. And so insert sexual reference here. It's so wholesome. It's funny. But look, those are the things that these companies are already doing, and look, if you sit down and read the standards, and you look at it and take them on board, it means that anyone that's actually doing these things, there is a system for reporting them, and you should report them.
Yeah, 100%.
If you find them offensive, if you find them to be over the mark, report them. There's probably at least once a month I get a random message from someone who's using a profile on Xbox to drum up some sort of sordid internet page. You know, they want me to jump on and look at their pictures or whatever. And I'm like, no, I report and delete. You know, because I'm like, that's not what this is about,
Yeah,
guys.
this is
Come
not
on.
what I want to hear.
I don't need this trash in. I get this trash everywhere else in the world. I don't need it here. This is where I game. Piss off, you know. So, you know, it's just one of those things. And you have a right to, and you should.
Yeah, 100%. And look, for anyone listening along, please, if you've got some questions about it, ask us. This is one of the reasons that I know personally I do this. You know, part of me, and I do it in my day job as well, is I enjoy helping people and, you know, giving people the information that they don't have. So please, if you've got any questions about how to set this up, you know, whether you want to do it for your kids or anything like that, just let us know. You know, we'll point you in the right direction.
Totally.
All right. Last words, mate.
What can we say after that? I mean,
I don't know.
my last words, read this to Xbox standards. They're amazing.
They're amazing.
They are. I should put a link up somewhere. But what else? What else can I say this week?
Well, you can say goodbye to Kaz first, because he's about to jump out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bye, Kaz.
So you can have a
Bye,
shout
Kaz.
out too, mate. Thanks for jumping in and listening to us, mate.
That's another round I win. Just remember that, dude. Yeah.
Yes.
Insert profanity here.
Yeah. Love you,
Yeah.
Kaz. Look after yourself, mate. Hope you're feeling better soon.
See you, bud. Yeah, look. Happy gaming. I don't have much. I don't really have much to say this week.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget to listen to or check out Lucas's show, That Other Show. Make sure you've got your scotch and cigar ready. Over on Twitch, Aussie Gamers TV and Snoogavision. And, of course, Grejio at Grejio XBL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's me.
that's you.
And Instagram. Check it out.
Good old
It's also Twitter as
Instagrammers.
well. You can jump on my Twitter, but I'm not very active on Twitter.
No.
But you will get all those Instagram feeds coming through it anyway.
Yeah.
So if you don't have Instagram, but you still want to keep on top of it, or you've got Twitter, you can do that.
That's where I do it.
Oh no, it's where a couple of people do it.
Sounds good.
Seems like the place to do it if you're not on Instagram.
In the Tweeterverse.
In the Twitterverse.
All right. Well, thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are listening this far along. Super special thanks to Kaz, as we said before, listening along live with us. Thanks, Greg. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Have
Yeah.
fun. A bit of a shout out for Lucas for all the bits and bobs that he does in the background. He's being a bit of a social butterfly this weekend.
I know.
This week, yeah.
He was gonna be here, but he had a do on.
Yeah, he's got a do.
He's got a do. That's how
And he had
he's
a
like, I gotta
do on last night and a do on Saturday night as well.
Wow.
This is not
He's-
Lucas. I'm thinking Lucas is a Skrull.
Well,
Someone's taken over.
One, he's calling them do's.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Is it a
These
Skrull
days?
or a Krull? I don't know. One of them. Anyway, to all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or Discord channel, or, of course, you can get in touch with us, Twitter, wherever you find us. To get in touch with us directly, though, shoot us an email at info@theagexp. Don't forget to leave us a review/comment on your preferred listening platform. Links, as always, are in the show notes and description below. I'm losing my tongue. I can't talk properly, so that's all from me. As always, I've been Snoogs.
I have been Grejio.
Thanks a lot, peeps. See you soon.
Hooroo.
Ooh, okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.